Hi, my name is Heather Mackey. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today I would love to talk to you about changing your mind. Um, it has been one of the greater teachings that I've received and that I've worked with is A, not only the concept of changing your mind, but B, the direction to change it in that will serve you indefinitely over time. And one of the teachers that I often refer to, because the information that he shared with my consciousness struck me in such a lasting and permanent way, is a beautiful man named Viktor Frankl, who wrote the book called Man's Search for Meaning. And this is a lot of things, but one of the primary things it was to me was a teaching from a person that was mired in negative opportunity or negative experience would be one way to describe it. Unsavory, unsettling, disturbing, frightening, terrifying experiences called concentration camps. And one of the things Victor saw was he saw someone that had very little food, which everyone in the camps had very little food, and everyone there was starving. He saw someone break their bread and share it with someone that was almost to the point of death, really in a dire way. They were needing additional food that day. And this person, who was also very hungry, chose to share with their brethren in such a darkened corner of the world. They made that choice to share that love. And he realized that no matter what the Nazis did, no matter how they treated the physical self, they have no power in controlling the consciousness that an individual chooses to hold, or the place that someone chooses to put their attention. We can place our attention on something that's loving, on something that's compassionate. We can turn our awareness to something that's enlivening, something that's awakening, something that's invigorating, something that's inspiring. And because we're the commander of our attention, and there's no way for anyone to get in there and choose your consciousness and your attention for you, because you're the commander of it. So long as you choose to hold it in mind and heart, it is yours. It is yours to have. It is yours to possess. So I'm so grateful to Victor for that, because there's lots of resplendent opportunity in nearly any corner of the world that you look at where you can see oppression. You can see the oppression of people of color. You can see the repression of the Black community, which is why there's a need to say Black Lives Matter. That statement, I would like to tell a lot of humans, does not say only. Like, let's be clear. It's just an acknowledgement. Can we be aware that their lives matter? We see a lot of challenges with Indigenous women being raped, assaulted, and murdered. Indigenous lives matter, and they're valuable. Trans lives matter. A lot of high suicide rate in the LGBTIQ plus community because of unwillingness for, in so many two-legged consciousness, to be open to diversity or righteousness in the consciousness. You can't be this way or that way. You have to be my way. You have to be my religion, my skin tone, my, and it's really oppressive. It's really oppressive to tell any people how to be. And I would say oppression is something all humans face. White males face a lot of oppression because they're heavily judged and disliked by many. And there are plenty of white males that have existed that have been a beautiful contribution to humanity. Men can face a lot of recrimination and loathing, and we can look at the Me Too movement and see all the things women go through. But also men get sexually assaulted, and that's, to me, a big problem that's not talked about because they're much less likely to discuss it. We're at least at a place where we're discussing it with women, which is helpful. That's its own progress. But if we look at our world, if we look at the environment, if we look at global warming, if we look at the pandemic, if we look at and in general, I think it's interesting because Two-Legged's really chosen 2020 as a launching point to show that we can just mire our attention in what doesn't feel good, what we don't like, I know 2020 has been a really difficult year for some people, and I appreciate that. Some people have lost their jobs, some people have lost their homes, some people have lost their lives, some people have lost the lives of people they love and care about. I'm one of those people. I understand that there have been challenges this year. And I would say, unless you've been a princess, I mean, just kidding. I'm sure there's challenges being a princess too. But really, every year of your life has had challenges, not just 2020. So I think it's interesting that we just go, this is the worst year ever, because it's just another year that's going to offer some graces and some challenges. And the question is, how do you want to hold your life? How do you want to hold your days? How do you want to hold your mind? How do you want to hold yourself, your world, and your brethren? One of the greatest opportunities my consciousness has ever been offered is the idea that I can change my mind. I used to be like super behind PETA and animal rights activism. I used to be deeply concerned about, when I was very young, I was very concerned about veterans and the way so many people went off to war and quote unquote hippies like spit on them when they came back. When I heard that, I thought, oh my God, how unloving and disgusting, because they had serious PTSD and trials and tribulations that they had to face, that they had a different rearing that told them that that was the right thing to do for their community. So, but I've had a lot of ways in which I've wanted to actively change the world or change others. I've dated almost exclusively atheist and agnostic people, and I've been very passionate about the spiritual side of things, and they've been very passionate about, like, you're just not a realist, you're a romantic, Heather, and that's great, but you don't have to romanticize. Like, science is beautiful too, and I've come to like the conclusion as I've continued to like push in my awareness throughout my life of like, we've got to be good to the earth, we've got to be good to the children, we've got to be good to the animals, we've got to remember spirit. We can't, death is coming for you like a freight train. Make peace with death. Get on program with spirit, because especially if you're a YOLOer, because you got one shot, yo. And like, what do you think about what happens afterwards? Like, let's get with this. And as I've aged, there's such beauty in aging to me, because you over time stop really needing to change the world. And you also see that, like, from the history repeats itself concept, oppression has always been a part of humanity. I can't look at any little year, any little month, any little day that two-leggeds have existed, that oppression hasn't been an opportunity in this realm. Oppression, struggle, suffering, degradation is available to all, and all humans experience it to some degree. That is the beauty of a dichotomy. So what I have been doing and thinking about throughout my life, as somebody who has had a tremendous amount of trauma and suffering and pain and depression and suicidal ideation, is what if all of that is not bad, is not the enemy, is not a threat? What are we talking about? What if every experience you're given is a gift? What if you are eternal? And we can go scientific, energy cannot be created nor destroyed would echo that sentiment, or you can go spiritual. I'm not a huge believer in soul, because I think the ego loves to divide and separate, and I think separation is what gives us so much opportunity with struggle here. Concepts of separation, belief in extending separation and sticking to separatist concepts, rather than just being a universalist or being more open to like all genders struggle, all cultures struggle, all peoples and two-legged struggle. Consciousness has an innate struggle. We all can work together to choose more love, to choose more harmony, to choose more compassion, to choose more awareness, to extend beyond our boundaries. And ultimately, evolution is in our own hands. We individually can choose to change our mind and show up as greater service to the world, greater love to the world, greater compassion to the world. But the invitation and invocation I've given myself over the years is, what if all that is not the love, light, and energy, and the positive, and the wee, what if all of that is just as much of a gift as the positivity and the blessings and the love? And that's a pretty foreign concept down here, because the ego, as our beautiful labeling device, is essentially meant to be a tool for discerning. Fire is hot, don't touch it. Like, this person I need to set boundaries with. It's there to discern what serves, what doesn't serve the self. The ego in the modern age, my own ego, often can get lost in, instead of discerning, judging. Fire is bad. Fire isn't bad. It's hot. Don't stick your hand in it. Doesn't make it bad. So I've been really working to kind of, I've done a lot of ego transmutation systems like A Course in Miracles and Way of Mastery, which are systems you can study for an entire lifetime. But as I've immersively worked to study, or to even consider and think about how many lifetimes are we going to do this? Again, I'm not a YOLOer. I don't think you get all of this in one lifetime, or all of that you are in one lifetime, your beautiful complex matrix. That's me. If it's not for you, cool, boo-boo, you do you. I love diversity. As a non-YOLOer, and as somebody who believes she's incarnate many times, and that the fact that energy cannot be created nor destroyed is indicative of the eternal evolution of energy evolving into new forms and new lifetimes. And as someone who witnesses that history continues to repeat the opportunity for struggles, trials, and tribulations, I've never met a two-legged that hasn't had pain, that hasn't had deep sadness, tremendous anger, moments of depression, moments of self-deprecation, self-loathing. I mean, even narcissism. Somebody with truly healthy self-esteem loves the self and doesn't have to bring others down or hold the self superior in order to love the self. So even narcissism is truly self-loathing with the volume turned to 100. So we all have our ways in which we're doing things in our mind, in our consciousness, in the way we're holding ourselves, in the way we're holding the world, in the way we're holding our life, that as I observe it, it adds to more of the struggle. It adds to more of the suffering. Like, oh, look at that over there. That's terrible. Look at that awfulness. I was blessed with a sacred dream from my dead mother right before 2020 hit, and she let me know this was going to be a wild, wild year. She let me know that there would be fires. She let me know that there would be suffering. She let me know that there would be agony. And she let me know that I have the right to psychically shield myself, and I have the right to know that it's the mathematics of the universe, to know and understand that the mathematics of the paradigm we find ourselves in is in an act of constantly receiving what we need. And it doesn't seem like we are. And yet I would ask myself and invite you to be like a scientist and marinate on what eternality means. If energy cannot be created nor destroyed, and you and everything you've ever witnessed in your life is made of energy, then we're here to stay. And if we're here to stay, then death is not a threat. Suffering's not a threat, because eventually the pendulum's bound to swing. You're going to evolve out of it. You're going to get tired of it. You're going to want to change your mind about it, because it's just not a hospitable place to exist in all the time. Trust, I know. It's exhausting to suffer all the time. So my invocation and my invitation today, and every day really for myself, but that I just wanted to share with you too, is to change my mind. What if the world is a beautiful place? What if we've always been given grace? What if everything we've ever witnessed has been perfect, whole, and complete to us removing our blocks to the awareness of love's presence? And what if all beings are doing great? What if it's all perfect? What if it's all a perfect design that doesn't have any flaws? And the only thing missing is us wrapping our mind around, I'm eternal. Why does this serve me? So that's my question these days. I'm eternal. This stresses me out. Why would that serve me? Is there a boundary I need to set? Is there something I need to say? Am I being self-loathing this day? Blessed be to you. May you change your mind in such a way that you hold yourself as a lovely part of the all, and hold the all in the same way. Blessed be.